And welcome to the next edition of Atomic Ergo. I am Earl-Ray Neal and I am your host. I am super excited to have with me today Caitlin Parsons. Hi, Caitlin. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Excited to
Good.
be here.
Good. We're really very happy to have you. Steve is super excited to hear and have you explain to our listeners, which I think is pretty neat too, how you have really carved out a niche, combining ergonomics and what you do. So with that being said, you 2013, 2020, you were at North Coast Smiles as a registered dental hygienist, which is, I think, your chosen profession.
Mhm.
And then you, in 2018, moved over to Caitlin Parsons Yoga Therapy, where you were a therapist and had ergonomic coach and speaker. And now, from 2015 until currently, I believe you're the Aligned Hygienist, which I just love. I think that is so cool. Yoga therapist and ergonomics consultant. Went to the University of New England and is you are a certified yoga therapist. So you've got a lot going on.
I got a lot going on. It's been a long time brewing, though. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. It always sort of tickles me. People look at you and sort of see where you are, and you want to say to them, "If you only knew how long it took me to get here."
Yep, exactly.
All right, so let's just hop right into it. I always kind of want to know, what your driving influences are. Is there someone, that's giving you, the specific drive to, to get into, in your case, yoga and ergonomics?
Yeah, great question. It's my pain actually became my purpose. So I became a dental hygienist at the age of 22, and within 1 year was experiencing multiple areas of pain. And for a good probably year, I tried to ignore it, hoped it would go away, kept working like crazy, and spoiler alert, it didn't go away. And I remember walking into a yoga class and doing a few of them and starting to realize I felt a little bit better. And there was something that clicked inside of me that prompted me to start looking up, is there therapeutic yoga or yoga that is being taught to dental professionals because our work is so unique? At that time, I realized I wasn't alone. There was a lot of other dental professionals experiencing pain. And to my knowledge, there was no one really teaching anything different to dental professionals. And I remember sitting in the operatory at work and being like, this is my thing. I am meant to, I don't know what this is going to look like, but study therapeutic yoga so I could understand my own body, heal my own pain, so I could help other dental professionals. And so it's been a mission to get here and a winding road, but it started with becoming a yoga teacher, advanced teacher, yoga therapist, and really specializing in posture and alignment of our body. And as I started to work with people in a yoga setting and therapeutic yoga setting, I realized that it was so much more than what we were doing on the yoga mat. That was helpful in so many ways, but how I started to think about how are my client like if you're at having pain from work, being at work, what are you doing and how are you sitting at work? And then if you're experiencing knee pain when you're playing volleyball, like I wonder what your positioning is. So I just started to study that and incorporate that with my clients, and it's kind of just built over the years.
We actually came across you on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Actually, our CBO, Steve Davis. Uh, you're very well known, respected in the dental industry, and it seems that you're always being invited to talk to conferences. How did you become so well known in the industry? Was it your niche?
My niche, my passion, my relentlessness, probably. Like I said, I'm on a mission. So I've kind of figured out my way in the industry. And back when I started realizing that this is what I wanted to do and I wanted to study therapeutic yoga, I would get these weird visions. I really don't share this often, but I would get visions of me speaking on stage and it terrified me and I hated it. It made me sick and want to throw up. But I've realized over time that that's a great way to help a broader audience and get more people interested in realizing that it's really important to take care of ourselves in our ergonomics. And there's many things that we can do big and small in and out of the office to support ourselves. So it's kind of just built over time.
And something you were touching on there, visualization is hugely important to successful presentations and those things. I talk in front of thousands of people a month, and you just don't even think about it once you've done it so many times. You have a passion for what you do, and your passion certainly shows through.
Yeah.
What let's talk about switch gears a little bit and talk about challenges. What are some of the challenges that you face? I can tell you from the outside looking in, it's always easier to follow somebody else's pattern and learn from their mistakes, but it seems to me that you're on the forefront of sort of this I keep calling it a niche, but this area of your profession. So what have been some of your challenges, and how did you get through those?
I've had a lot of challenges because for a really long time, I feel like in 2020, when everything shut down and people had a little more spaciousness, there was a shift in dentistry, a shift of people realizing that they were burnt out, that they were in pain, that they didn't want to do what they were doing and how they were doing it anymore. And there was also a bigger desire for people to learn about ergonomics and wellness in dentistry. And so for a really long time before that, no one was picking up what I was putting down, to be honest. It felt like I was just throwing spaghetti against a wall and trying stuff. And so I've made so many shifts and pivots and trying to change my message and add more tools to my toolkit. And yeah, I've experienced a lot of challenges. I mean, even just right now, I am a one-woman show. So I am marketing, I am speaking, I am creating my content, I am sending proposals, doing sales calls, coaching, consulting. It's so yeah, the challenges are
Daily, it
aplenty.
sounds like, yeah, challenges all over. So obviously you have your finger on the pulse of your profession. What do you feel like the trends are? And it sounds like you're actually pushing the trends yourself. So what do you see happening, for you and in your profession over the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think dentistry is in an interesting position. There's a lot of great change and growth and innovation, and people really excited about wellness and just taking care of ourselves and kind of creating a new shift. And there's a lot of people burnt out, people tired, people sick of it. So my goal is to kind of like you said, push the trend towards how can we, as a solo practitioner or clinician, dental assistant, dentist, hygienist, all the way to a practice like a group, a dental office, how can we take care of ourselves to support ourselves better, to feel better in and out of the office, but also support our patients better and support the practice. So I I think, yeah, I don't know.
What obviously you've had your hand in some successes thus far. Otherwise, you people would quit. If you don't have some success along the way, some people give up. Share with us maybe a success story that you've been involved in, something you've been able to accomplish that's kind of kept you going.
Yeah. There's a lot of little wins, I would say, along the way that keep me going. People sending me messages just for my Instagram and sharing something that really helped them, whether it's a simple stretch or a different hack, or getting messages about my story from people that were in my audience. Like those are wins that just bring me so much joy to create a little bit of impact for people. But I've had a few private clients that have been really, really transformational. And one actually was not in dentistry. He was an engineer, and I worked with him for a couple years. He started out with me with crazy hunchback in a lot of pain. He was told by doctors for decades that it would never get better and his pain would never go away. He was recommended meds and surgeries and spinal fusions and all of this. And so he really came to me as a very last resort. And through therapeutic yoga and building strength and reducing tension and bringing his body back into balance and alignment, and also working really on his posture, how he moved his body, and how he positioned himself at work, all of these things, he got to a point that he no longer experienced pain. His posture improved. I mean, he still has a chronic hunchback, but his posture improved, his energy improved. He had no more headaches, like all of these things that came from a symptom of being in pain and being in bad posture quite literally changed his life. And it changed, he would get comments about how different he was at work when he started to feel better. His wife sent me messages and was like, what happened? He's a completely different person when he was in pain versus not. So I think those stories really keep me going because when we're stuck in pain and we don't feel good or we're stressed out, it creates a ripple effect. And so just by helping one person, there's usually kind of a ripple effect from that.
That pain oftentimes starts in school.
Mhm.
And I guess my point to that is a lot of the dental hygienists or dentists start seeing those signs and symptoms of pain while they're still in school and still training. Are you aware of anything in academia that's being discussed or tried to address those issues?
I think that's one of like the big things that I want to be a part of or help change or push forward. There's a lot being done, but every dental school and every dental hygiene school runs completely different. So I had very little ergonomic education in my training, and another hygienist that graduated from a different school the same year might have had constant reinforcement of posture and ergonomics throughout their days. So there's a big variety in what people are taught, how it's instilled, and I would love to see just some standardization across the board, whether it's multi-part training or I don't know what that looks like, but I think we need some improvements. There are a lot of schools are doing great things where they're bringing in different tools like ergonomic loops for dentists and hygienists to try and wear during hygiene and talking about different things like that. But I think one of the big issues is that we all come out with different knowledge and education, and usually not enough because the curriculum is so robust that it's on patient care so much and our treatment that we're doing, and less about practitioner well-being. But it's a double-edged sword.
I think those schools need to hire you to come in and talk about the issues. And just so you know, we actually have several professors that watch this. So if you want to just kind of, I know this is sort of off the beaten path, but if you want to take just a second and let everybody know how they can get in touch with you to schedule you to come and talk to them or do a presentation, that would be great.
Yeah, I would love it. Clearly, I'm passionate about all things helping dental professionals, not even dental professionals. This goes way outside to everyone. I call them normal human beings. You can contact me. My website is thealignedhygienist.com. My email is hello@thealignedhygienist.com. You can send me a message on LinkedIn. It's just my name, and then Instagram as well. But whether you're a professor, whether you're a school or just a dental professional or anyone, I would love to connect and see how I can support you.
So, what advice do you have for people who want to get into the dental industry, but keeping in mind the importance of ergonomics?
Yeah. I would, from the get-go, encourage everyone to prioritize their health and their well-being because it's very easy to get focused on the patient and the treatment and lose sight of ourselves. But our body is truly our greatest asset. So at the beginning of school, day one, how are you taking care of yourself, body, mind, and energy? And really focusing on good ergonomic habits from the get-go and setting yourself up for success because it's way harder to go back like I did years later and start to kind of fix some of these habits that we've formed that become our way of being.
For the young folks that are in that are still in school, and then I tell my son who is in a graduate program something that I learned when I was going through that the time off is just as important as the time on. For some strange reason, we live in a world now where almost every waking second has to be accounted for you to feel or be considered productive. And I just don't agree with that. I think it's important that you take time off to do something for you. So when you are working, you can be more productive.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's one big thing that I talk about is ergonomics and even posture and ergonomics are just one piece of the puzzle to really feeling good in our bodies, in our lives. Because, like you said, pain and stress are directly connected. And if we have no time and space to down regulate, to slow down, to get quiet, we're less productive, we're less focused in the long run, all of those things.
I found myself just by you talking out during that thinking, oh, I hope I'm sitting up straight. I don't think so.
Yeah. It's the effect I have.
So this is my favorite question. It's the one that I usually wrap up with. And what would you like your personal legacy to be in the ergonomic, dental industry? The things that you're doing. What do you want your legacy to be?
Also, a really good question that I'm not sure I can fully answer, but I know that I really want to leave the dental industry better than I found it. I want to help dental professionals feel better, have different tools and resources that I can partner with different associations to support more people, and really creating a standardization of how we can take care of ourselves throughout the office. And I don't know how that looks, but I don't think I'm leaving till I finish.
Well, I can tell you that I've had, around 20 or so guests on here, and without a doubt in my mind, this is the most unique approach and unique, I guess, um, y- you know, uh, attempt to try to fill a gap that very clearly exists in an industry or profession that you really don't think about your dentist or your hygienist being on their feet or on a stool, sort of hunched over every day, because once you leave, you don't ever think about it again.
Hmm.
And that's 10 hours a day of doing that. So
Hmm.
I think you're on the right track. Stay with it. Keep banging the drum, and getting the word out, and people are obviously listening because, like I said, you have a great following on Instagram, on Instagram and LinkedIn. Make sure you reach out to her if you to Caitlin, if you want somebody to come and talk to you or your organization about ergonomics, especially if you are in the dental industry. Seems like that's something that you're focused on, very interested in, and also yoga therapy. So, thank you, Caitlin Parsons, the Aligned Hygienist, for being our very special guest today. I've learned a lot. I think this is pretty cool. Keep after it. Don't ever give up. Because
Thank you so
don't
much.
don't don't let them get you down.
Yes, I'll replay this when I need it on a rainy
Yeah.
day.
But we really appreciate it. I'd like to invite you back at some point so you can kind of tell us, where you are now, and some of the things that have happened for you in the next bit. But that'll wrap it up for us today. As always, please leave your questions, concerns, and suggestions down in the comment section below. I want to give a special shout out to Steve Stockhausen, who is our producer for this. I just get to have the fun with the guests and talk, and then he puts it all together and makes it look slick and smooth. So special thanks to Steve. But Caitlin, thank you again. Again, it's Caitlin at the Aligned Hygienist. Is it .com? I'm assuming.
Yep.
Reach out to her if you would like to have her come speak to your organization. And that'll wrap it up until the next time. I just want to remind you all, in today's world, be good to each other.